Hi guys, welcome back to Father and Son Investing. Today's video is about I-bonds. I'm going to talk about why you should wait until at least January 12th to purchase your next round of I-bonds. Now this applies to people really who have already maxed out their purchase of I-bonds for 2022. If you haven't done that yet, then it may still be okay to be purchasing I-bonds before the end of the year so that you can get in your yearly quota. This is going to talk about, though, why January 12th will be an important date for people wanting to purchase I-bonds in 2023. For this discussion, I'm going to walk you through a few things. We're going to talk about how the I-bond interest rate is calculated. We're going to talk about the semi-annual inflation rate. And then we're going to talk about the CPI release dates. All of that will get us to January 12th and why that will be an important date for you. So let's get started. All right, I want to use verifiable information for you as much as I can so that you can trust the information you're going to get from this video. What is before you here is coming directly from Treasury Direct, and it's talking about the Series I savings bonds and the interest rates and how they're calculated. If you are an I-bond investor, you know that the current rate is 6.89%. Remember, that is an annualized rate. That is not what you'll get for 6 months. The current rate is 6.89%. That is a combination of a fixed rate, which in this case right now is 0.4%, and an inflation rate. If you look further down the page, you'll see exactly then how they calculated that 6.89%. If you're interested in the math, I'll let you stop the video. Now, an important point to note here is this inflation rate is calculated based on the semi-annual inflation rate. And that comes from something called the Consumer Price Index for all urban consumers, CPI-U. Now, Treasury Direct sets that inflation rate portion of the I-bond every May 1st and every November 1st. But the data that they use to calculate that does not come from May or November. Again, I want to give you verifiable information, so I have here the Savings Bond Regulations page from Treasury Direct so that we can find out how that semi-annual inflation rate gets calculated. If you click on the Series I Savings Bond offerings of Series I, this is what you'll get. This is the Code of Federal Regulations, Part 359. We are not going to run through this whole thing, but I've highlighted the paragraph here that says, what is the semi-annual inflation rate? Treasury Direct notes that they announce this rate twice a year, as we mentioned, in May and November, and is calculated based on a 6-month period, thus a semi-annual inflation rate. You will notice that they use the months of March and September. That applies every year. I know that says 2002 there, but that still applies even in 2022 or 2023. It is March and it is September are the 2 months that get used to calculate that rate. If you're interested in the formula, then you'll see that this is the formula. Again, you can stop the video and look at the equation if you want to. That then leads us to the next question. Where does that CPI-U number come from? Well, to get that, you have to go to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics website. At this website, you can get all sorts of information. You'll see that they released the October numbers for CPI. CPI, CPI-U are kind of interchangeable here, and they say that it was 0.4% in October 2022. That is a month-to-month change. Also on the Bureau of Labor Statistics website, you can see tables which will show you what the month-to-month and year-over-year inflation rate change has been. We are interested in this column here, the one that says CPI-U. This is an unadjusted number. It's important to note that because the Treasury Direct folks use the unadjusted CPI-U number, not the adjusted CPI-U number. Again, if we go way to the bottom, we will see all the way down here that 0.4% was what it was for October, and you can see what it was for the preceding months before that. You'll note that in July and August, they came up with 0% 2 months in a row, and even in September, they came close to that. So inflation went up just a little bit more in October. That certainly makes us wonder whether all of these Fed interest rate hikes are actually controlling inflation or not. On the Bureau of Labor Statistics website, you can get a schedule of the release dates for information that they produce. And we will notice that in January 2023, the release date for the Consumer Price Index will be at 8:30 a.m. on the 12th. Now, by this time, what we will have is the CPI-U numbers for October, November, and then on this release date, we will have December. So we'll have about 3 months worth of data in order to get a feel for what the next inflation portion of the I-bond might be. Again, that's just going to be a prediction. We'll only have 3 months of data. But if you're planning on buying early in 2023, I would recommend that you at least wait until the 12th. Now, one important thing to know about I-bonds is that if you buy your I-bond anytime during the month of January, it will count as if you bought it during the whole month. Now, you probably don't want to wait until the 30th or 31st because it can take a couple of days for Treasury Direct to process your order. That order has to go completely through before the end of the month in order for it to count for January. So again, if you're planning on purchasing your I-bond for 2023 early in the year, I would recommend you at least wait until after January 12th. Then you're going to have a better idea whether the Fed is actually getting inflation under control. We will get those numbers for November and December, and you'll have half the data that you're looking at to help calculate or predict what your next I-bond interest rate might be. I hope this information was helpful for you. If it was, please give us a thumbs up, and please share this information with a young person in your life. Help them get on the road to investing and making good money decisions. Until next time, enjoy your investing.